GetLoveDreamingPeach.com.
Peaches, how are you? I'm making some vegan tofu ramen soup.
Mofo typos, yo. Typos.
I wanted to talk.
GetLoveDreamingPeach.com.
Peaches, how are you? I'm making some vegan tofu ramen soup.
Mofo typos, yo. Typos.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and I made a couple videos already where I've taken the stance of that bitch is lying. I don't believe that bitch. That bitch is lying. No, maybe she's not. She could totally be telling the truth. She might be telling the truth. But I have a very strong spidey sense that she's lying. Now maybe I'm going to end up being wrong. And then if I'm wrong, I'll bang the gong of being wrong. And I'll say, oh, I was wrong. And again, I do believe that we should believe women. We should believe men. We should believe people. And I also believe that, put this in, I'm going to put this in. Oh, and I use this tofu, organic. So I'm getting Amber Heard 2.0 vibes, and I could be wrong, you know. He very well may have done those things, and if and when it comes out that that's the case, I will say, oh, wow, look at that. 2 to 10% of allegations are false, which means 90 to 98% of allegations made against someone with SA are true. But also, sometimes people use that fact to try to benefit themselves and hurt others. The fact is that at this point, I don't know. I don't know who did what. I just know that on the face of it, I don't believe that bitch. I really don't. At first blush, seems like a vindictive smear campaign on her part. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kat. I'm Kat Love Dreaming Peach. And I am an insightful person. I am an HSP, a highly sensitive person. I'm incredibly sensitive. My 5 senses, sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch, well, maybe not my sight, but the others are extremely sensitive. So my sense of smell is extremely acute. My hearing, I'm very sensitive to sounds. My skin is ultra sensitive to textures, fabrics. As far as my sight, it's not like it's perfect vision, but I'm extremely sensitive to what I do see. And I'm also an artist and a very creative person. And I can be moved to tears or intense empathic feelings, intense empathy, intense sympathy within like a split second. And alternatively, when there is that lack of the sensation of, like, when nothing is evoked except suspicion, that's a red flag. Of course, that doesn't mean that I'm always right. It doesn't mean that, you know, I'm a mind reader, even though am a fortune teller. No, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm clairvoyant. Somewhat. But I'm not, I don't like see the future. I don't read minds or anything. I just am an HSP, and I have strong insights, and I get a sense of things. And I could be wrong. I've already said that about 10 times. And I'm also extremely open to information, new information, facts. I'm open to changing my mind. And I also, so while I have a sense, like I'm saying, I have a sense, I have a feeling, but I don't have an opinion. I don't have a conclusion. I just have like a hunch. It's just a vibe. It's just like a but I certainly don't have a solid opinion about whether or not Justin S.A. Blake, or if Blake completely fabricated things, or if Blake S.A. Justin, or if Blake took things that were innocent out of context and spun them and exaggerated them and labeled them S.A. when they're not. Or maybe he completely did every single thing she said he did, and he was a total sleaze, and he should pay for his crimes. I don't know. I don't have a definitive, like, this is what the fuck happened. I'm going on vibes. And right now, my vibes are, she's a POS. She's a real fucking POS. And I'm not getting that from him. I'm getting that he's a sensitive, gorgeous man who's vulnerable and has tried for years to be a better person. And if it turns out that it was all a fabricated persona that was the exact opposite of who he really is, you know, maybe nowhere near as extreme, but like Bill Cosby pretending to be this super nice guy, this loving dad, this guy everybody could trust, this pudding motherfucker guy, and he was drugging people for decades and assaulting them and raping them while pretending to be Mr. Clean cut guy who won't curse. So we all know
You won't curse,
that
but he'll
people
drug
can
you and
seem like
fucking
one
rape
thing,
you.
act like one thing, and be the whole motherfucking opposite. Be the
He won't
exact
drug
person
you.
they're pretending not to be.
He will drug you.
And I am open and willing to
Chocolate cake.
Acknowledge facts. At this moment, I feel like we saw
Mom
some
is great.
text messages.
Dad
from
is great.
some
Gave us
people,
chocolate cake and drugs
it is
and rape.
nothing, no facts. Okay, even potentially him signing a document that she, Blake, and her team put together that made it look exaggerated and salacious. That is not necessarily per se admission of guilt or fault or of doing the things.
Mm-hmm.
So my MO is wait for trial.
Learn
Wait for
facts.
the facts to come out. Listen to both sides, and then listen to witnesses. And then, like, get the big picture, get the bird's eye
Vet
view.
them. Vet those witnesses.
And then come to a conclusion. But I'm open and curious, and at this moment, it's just a complaint. It's not a lawsuit, but it's very likely that the CRC will say, yeah, go ahead. Here's your letter to go ahead and do an actual complaint. Because it sounds like they've got to do an investigation. You know, she's got this long laundry list of things that he supposedly did, and it would only be right to launch a legitimate investigation and find out, is it true? Did he really do those things? Or is she a motherfucking lying sack of shit? Is he a motherfucking lying sack of shit? I don't know. But I like to explore. I like to talk about it. I like to have critical thinking. I like to discern. I like to learn how to discern. And I certainly don't jump to conclusions. There's no jumping to conclusions here. Which reminded me, by the way, I fucking forgot to stretch. I got into stretching and I was doing it for like a good week or so, and then I just fell off because of the holidays. But I'll get back on it. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Join me on Patreon, become a member on YouTube as well, and then you can see some very private. Oh, I almost forgot. I gotta chop up my delicious, fresh washed bok choy, and then it goes in the delicious tofu ramen. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Delish.
GetLoveDreamingBeach.com.
Peaches, how are you?